What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another Major Ben video. We've got about 3 topics today to just discuss, a couple of things to go through, a few new games announced, and yeah, we're just going to read through a couple of bits here. It's a shorter one today, but that's okay because sometimes there's not always news in this industry. So, anyway, things you would have heard about. Yesterday we got a Mass Effect remaster that will be coming out on both Xbox One and PS4. I say Xbox One and PS4, you can obviously play it on PS5 and Series X with a boost in frames per second. Although I do believe on the PS4 Pro and also Xbox One X, you do actually get 60 FPS, I think. So we're just going to read a little bit from an article here, but then I'm going to give my opinions on what I've seen. I've seen a couple of screenshots from this game already, and we'll talk about that. But anyway, it says, sometimes when folks at BioWare explain what they've changed in the remastered Mass Effect trilogy, they almost sound like they're playing God. During a hands-off remote presentation in January, environment and character directing Kevin Meek said that in an early scene during the first game, the sun was moved entirely. This way, he explained, the player can appreciate the vista, which makes the alien planet seem as if it's in perpetual sunset. The biggest and most noticeable changes in Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is the new version, are like this: visual and cosmetic. Don't expect to play through the beloved sci-fi series and find anything new in terms of previous cut content or tweaked storylines, which means that yes, that controversial ending is still in there. Even so, I was struck while reviewing comparison shots of the older games versus the spruced up versions, which will be playable in 4K and HDR. So these guys will be being played in full 4K with HDR. There's actually a little slider on this website where you can change stuff. A lot of it's very, very basic stuff, guys. As they made clear there, things like the controversial ending in Mass Effect 3 is not going. The game is not changing at all. Please note, this is a remaster, not a remake. It would have been much nicer to see a remake of this trilogy since it's so beloved, and it's especially by console fans. It looks more like, essentially what they've done here is they've taken the PC version of Mass Effect that has always been around, that you could get a 60 FPS, and they basically just added a few different light sources and stuff like that. The actual core game is fully the same. It's just a graphics bump, and I think it is such a shame. I haven't seen many people talk about this, but I think it's such a shame that we actually have to pay for this. I understand, because the devs have to get paid, and at the end of the day, if they don't, then they won't spend time on doing this stuff, which is disappointing. But I would have thought they could have perhaps taken the PC version of this game and just pushed it down to Series X and PS5 and the other consoles and just made it look better. A boost in frame rate, a patch like every other game has been doing. Like we've seen games like Jedi Fallen Order increase frame rate, increase graphics capabilities, and it's on the same disc. You put the same game in, it does a patch update, and it plays. And it would have been nice to get that for this game, but in the end of the day, I'm still going to buy it. I love this trilogy of games, and I will be playing through it with this new Mass Effect Legendary Edition. But on to some other news with another game, guys. We've got Battlefield 6 that looks like it's going to be announced or very soon. It's already, I think Battlefield actually put the picture up yesterday. It looks like it's coming holiday this year, which is a little while to wait, but still it's cool to see a big title that is being thought about and that will be coming soon. So let's have a read through this article, because it actually talks a little bit about the PS5 and Series X versions. So it says, EA has said that Battlefield 6 takes full advantage of the power of next generation platforms, and that the game is on track for an early 2021 reveal and a holiday release between September and December 2021. EA CEO Andrew Wilson shared more details about Battlefield 6 in an earnings call with investors. Wilson said that Battlefield 6 will tap into the horsepower of both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, which should bring massive and immersive battles to life with more players than ever. Wilson also added that Battlefield 6 will feature maps with unprecedented scale, and that the next vision of Battlefield takes all the destruction, player agency, and vehicle and weapon combat that the franchise is known for and elevates it to another level. I just always remember with the Battlefield games playing Battlefield 3 on PC and looking at that graphics and still today that is a very good looking game on PC. Like, it's so impressive to see those things running on PC back then, and we're finally getting those 60 FPS good quality titles that we deserve on console, guys. You know, we need this stuff. This is fantastic news that we're getting these full games on console. Anyway, War Games. While Battlefield is still one of the biggest games of the year, it's fair to say that the latest iteration, Battlefield 5, didn't quite resonate as strongly with the gamers' player base as previous titles. Much like Call of Duty, there's always a back and forth over the direction and setting of each title, with some players preferring a more military-focused game, while others would like to see more modern, futuristic depiction. I'm in the mind of, I don't like the whole flying around that they did in Call of Duty for a small period of time that they did do it with Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare. I much preferred the boots on the ground classic Call of Duty, but I'm very much looking forward to playing the campaign side of this Battlefield game. I will also tap into the multiplayer a little bit as well, but the actual single player is the interesting stuff here with the insane graphics as well, and it's just going to be fantastic. Anyway, one last article here today, guys, and then that is it for today's video. By the way, you should be seeing some amazing Forza gameplay. There is a problem with the capture on the Xbox at the moment, so sometimes it comes out as a not 60 FPS for some reason, and also it doesn't quite look correct. So if there's any problems with that, it's purely the actual Series X capturing. It's nothing to do with the actual Series X itself, so please note that. Anyway, Sega has announced Judgment is coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Stadia. No one really cares about that. But there's no mention of a PC version. The Yakuza spin-off, which first came out as PlayStation 4 exclusive back in 2019, launches on PS5, Xbox Series X, and Stadia on the 23rd of April with refined visuals, 60 FPS, improved load times, and all previous released DLC. The new trailer is below. Okay, it looks insane, to be honest. I love the style that they use in the Yakuza games, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this one has to bring. But anyway, the announcement of the game for Stadia and PC has certainly raised Stadia and not PC has certainly raised eyebrows, coming as it does hot off the heels of Google's own announcement that it's shutting down its internal Stadia studios and offering its streaming tech to publishers. That's another thing we're going to talk about briefly after this. There are a number of unanswered questions with this release. Is the Stadia deal okay, let's talk about the Stadia stuff, which, you know, screw it. That was the announcement anyway of the new the Yakuza spin-off, which is coming to PS5, Series X, and Stadia. But anyway, talking about Stadia, Google, I should say, have actually closed down the studios that they had set up and built to purely make games for Stadia. They've closed them. Is it 2 or 3? I think it was 3 studios, and they are shutting both of them down. And it's kind of the first nail in the coffin for Stadia at this point. It's disappointing to see. I was never a fan of the system. I like collecting my physical games anyway, but even saying that, I love Game Pass and I love the streaming to my phone on Game Pass, but Stadia just wasn't it for me. The fact that you paid a monthly subscription and on top of that you then had to pay for the games full price just killed it for me. And then on top of that, you don't get to play the native versions anywhere. Like, at least with Game Pass and the game streaming services on Xbox, you can stream the games but also own the downloaded version on your Series X or PC and play those native when you're at home and just take it on the go on your phone and your mobile technology and stream it that way. So that's the much better way to go about this. If you're going to have a streaming service, you need to have a native platform right now where you can play your games natively and take them on the go. It's just the best way to do it, because people don't want to purely just have these games streamed because they don't run as well, they don't look as good. You know, I'm not buying a 4K TV to then stream these games barely at 4K resolution because my internet can't cope with it, and I have a fairly good internet. So yeah, anyway, that looks like the first nail in the coffin for Stadia. I do feel sorry for people who have bought a Stadia or got a Stadia for Christmas, because it looks like they're going to be shutting things like that down. I'm sure they'll continue for a little bit longer, at least with the third-party stuff, but what really brings people to platforms, as we all know, is the first-party stuff, and they are no longer going to have any at all. So that's disappointing, but hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please do leave a like, please do subscribe. I hope you guys will support this content and share it with your friends, and get as many people as you can to get interested in this stuff, because I love talking about the latest stuff. It's my bread and butter. I really enjoy it, and I hope you guys do too. So thank you, and see you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.